Hello, hello. It's Bev Code. Coming in just a minute or two early so that others can join. And you know me, I love when you join and then say hello so that I can see in the comments that you're here and that you're getting along. And if there's any questions, you can ask. So please say hello in comments that I can see the people are joining. I see one is live. I'm going to reach across my table. I like to put my computer in a little bigger screen. Well, hello, Patricia. It's good to see you. We're supposed to have a few joining, so I'm just going to wait a few minutes. Hello, Alicia. We're just waiting. Everybody's just popping in at this moment. I was waiting just a few seconds because then I can explain a few things and we will be ready to go. Now, for one, I actually had my white cardstock base and I matted with the cardstock and then I put the print. On this other one, I went with the print first, cardstock base already, and then added one print. So those are the options that you do have. And each layer is a 1/4 inch difference. So if it starts with 4 inches and goes to 3 3/4, and then if you do the third one, I went to a third on this one, to the 3 1/2. So that makes it easy. So if you're making some and you're adding more layers. And this one does feel a little stronger because it's got a third layer. But this one still stands on its own and is absolutely perfect. It's not a big deal. Hello, Suzanne. Glad you could pop in. We were just talking about layers. So they go from 4, 3 1/4, and 3 1/2, depending on how many layers you put into it. Because I did one with the 3 and one with the 2. And this is where if I had gone with the white and then went with this print, it wouldn't have had any dimension. So I did add an extra one on that one. And this is where you can accent out the front. Any theme you like. I think we'll get ready to go. We have now got roughly 4 people in. Not everybody's checked in with me. But in the meantime, let's go. So I'm going to do another one with the same collection because I still have a couple odd pieces of paper rose, bees and butterflies. So I am going to do one that goes white, green, and the print. And we will work on that. And this is where if you're just going with cardstock and print, that's your option. You'll go in 2 processes instead of 3. I'm moving them over. And I'm going to start with my white in the background. Now let's just bring my board over. So I told you to get some cardstock and main prints and an accent print. You might, if you want to do like I'm doing, you might even need another accent print, but you can add that later. That little one isn't quite as important as the first 2. So with that in mind, I try and follow the printout so that you can do it yourself later and follow what it says. So it talks about what you will need and we can cut. So I am going to cut 3 cardstock in white 4-inch squares. And this is where if you want to go with your cardstock color and then add print immediately, I'm going to go white, green cardstock, and then print. So mine's going to be altered just a little as I go. So we are going to, now with 4-inch right across, you should be able to do your 3 panels immediately because it's on 12 inches. Well, thank you, Patricia. It's so nice. I like when everybody shares their cards because then there's so many nice ones. Oh, Susan joined. Hello, hello. We're going to see lots of fabulous cards if everybody shares. Okay, so now I have this as the base, and we will work from there. So now this is the part where it says to score and burnish. So whether you score or you just fold, I just notice when I fold by hand, sometimes things are out a smidge. Never enough that I can't finish the card, but it's not quite as exact. So there's that one. Get those bases ready so they can be white or they can be colored, cardstock, whatever you decide. And I'm not rushing because I could go fast, but I'm going to go slow. And if you are a fast grabber, then just hang in there. So now, then it says, I'm going to put these over here. Now this is where I'm going to have to do my other cardstock, and you might be doing print already, okay? So I am going to do 3 3/4, and you can do a print right away, or you can do a second cardstock and then do a third color. So this is where I'm just going to get this going in case you're using your print already. So this is the 3 3/4. And I also somewhere in my mega mess here, I have a file for taking off my burrs so that they don't show, so that they're not so obvious. And I also have been using my Copic markers to color them. And of course I don't see that right away. So give me 2 secs while I just kind of do a quick little trim. And like I said, I wanted to show you that you can do it both ways, so I'm kind of doing both. So this is where this could be your print going on the white. I didn't have a strong enough color in my print to get it done. So this is where I just went and thought I would do this. Now, the other thing I could do is I could have made this my base and came in with my print right away. But I'm going to just keep going. So now this is where they wanted another accent. So now I have to get this is where I want to take my time for a minute, and I'm going to show you something. When I did this, and I just cut anywhere, I found out that some of my patterns, I wanted my butterflies facing the right way and my flowers falling the right way. So with that in mind, what I did was, and see, we do the inside. When you open this way and lay it in front of you, when I cut my prints, I made sure that I had 1 and 2 that they were going this way. So basically the left side is the top. So when you go like this, when you're cutting, you can see that this is in the top, this is going to the top, and that's going to the top. So whether it's this one here that is the print or the next one, which I'm going to use, so this can be yours. But when I cut, this is where we have to cut them. So this is where I'm just going to bring this in as an example. If I want to have butterflies in the back again, the bottom right, that means when it's like this, see how the square's going this way? So if you're as fussy as I am, this is where, and see this one even, yeah, I don't want to cut that big butterfly. I'm going to move, yeah, see this is where it's kind of going this way. So the butterfly, yeah, see, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to slide this up here. And I'm going to have to cut it a little bit smaller because it's my smaller piece that I want, okay? So this is when you are playing with prints and you want some things going the way you want them. I'm going to go like that on one. And this is where the top corner might be the front one. And I'm just going to go like this because the pattern's going this way. And I'm going to do the same on this next one. Now, this would be the size of my print if it was going on as the second piece right away. And this is where inside is your third print, the big one. So just so you see where your prints actually are. That's, like I said, I'm getting a little picky when I do that. Now, I might have to change my inside because I'm starting to run out of this fabulous paper. And I might just use cardstock inside. I have to wait and see what I end up with. It's more important that I have these 1, 2, these split and these stay together. So I'm going to cut them. Now this is where I'm going on my third. So I am going to get these out of the paper. In fact, this is where I'm going to have fun with my scissors and just go over. Get them out of the middle so I can get what I want. But like I said, that little lesson on all this, if you don't have a print that's quite as defined as mine and can go any which way, left, right, upside down, backwards, then you just cut the pieces and you're done and you're fine. So I'm going to put them way over there. See, now this is where I want to make sure that they're going up and up. So I'm going to fold across. And this is where I actually have to go down a size yet. But I'm just showing you the way I will be cutting because I can cut that off yet. And this one's getting folded. So that tip, or maybe not that tip, this one goes there and this one will go there. You sometimes have to reverse them on the card base when you're doing this one. But this is where I take my time. Hello, Amy. Now, this is where I have to take off my 1/2 inch. So I have to go here and here. And if I need to trim, I will. But I'm hoping that's fine. and this one, and this one. Now it says to cut those all in half. Now I haven't got my third one, if you remember. This is where I might use just this inside. It might be okay, all right? But otherwise you would cut a third. So now this is where it says 5 prints. I didn't do my other print. Let me get it. This is the one where I've been using this to accent. And we need 2 at 1.5 inches. So I am just going to get a square started here. So we're doing 1.5 inch little squares for the accent. And you will see where they go once we get going here. And again, this is where I have to decide. I don't think it's not quite as important on the inside. It's a cute decoration. I might, so it wants you to cut them. I'm going to wait and I'll show you why. So get these guys cut. Because once we have the pieces, there's one. We are going to get the base started, so now we can play with pieces, because this is where this one wants you to fold on over and cut. Now, for assembly, that's going to be my whites. And if you used print, I'm just keeping my pieces together so I know which ones go together. Keep them moving. So like I said, if you're going a color deeper the way this one is, you just have to change it by 1/2 inch when you're cutting pieces. Okay, now here's my white, my base. I did white, and if you did a different color, that's fine. And what I want you to do, and what it says to do, this is where it wants you to have your folds there, and these are together. Now what I want you to do is flip them over, because it talks about valley folds up. Valley folds. So valley folds always go this way. Now, it was suggested, this is where if you have, just let me grab, whoop, sorry, I'm wiggling. I had a piece of washi tape. It was suggested washi tape would hold them together, and then it's removable. If you have removable tape, that'll work, and you have to do the best you can. So there's your valley folds up here, and it tells you to fold these right there and keep those together. Then it says to turn over the pieces. See, I could have put the tape way, way, way up to the top there, but it's holding it. So now it's turned over, and now it says to put this one on. And you want your fold there we go. So whichever way the folds go, put your square in there. So when we glue it, now you do not want to glue down here. So now this is where, if you can hold this tightly, make sure it's in there, fold it over, My tape's in the way, so I'm just going to go like this. There we go. Put it back. And that's in the way. There we go. Okay, so there's where it's going, and there's where I marked do not add glue. So I'm going to grab my glue. Stay above that line. This is where we get the shape of the base. Make sure you get enough where the creases are on the fold, so it'll grab on both sides. And come back in and get your square lined up. This one's a little, there we go. Okay. And now you can take up your removable tape or your little piece of score tape. There we go. So we have our base. And everything folds cool. And actually this one is going to go the other way. Just fold it on. You can tell as soon as you go to put them together. It's awesome. So there's your base. That's easier than you thought, right? Now, I am going to use Velcro dots to put it together, but we don't do that. Now, this is where, if you want to make sure your papers are all going the right way, this is going to be your top front because it closes here. And sometimes I go T, FR. You can put front there. And if you want to just put a T and a T, then you know which way, if your prints are being as fussy as mine are. So put a little T on there. So now this is where I am adding a color before I'm coming in with my print. And this is where I'm going to have this here and this here. I got to decide which one. I think I like this one. Now this is the front panel. And this is the front panel. Part of that's going to be covered. Excuse me. Now this is where I hand cut. So I'm going to have to cheat. I haven't got enough. I'm going to just, this is where I hand cut because I didn't measure. So I'm just cutting a smidge off. And this is where you can just lay your pieces. Make sure everything's going to work for you. So one goes here. And this is where I'm watching my prints. When I did this one, for instance, I'm going to open it. Didn't matter where my prints went. I just put them anywhere I wanted. Okay? It just fit and it was fine. When I did this one, I definitely was looking for my prints to go this way. So we can bring in, that should be there. And then don't forget we have some on the other side. So set them down. Okay, so now hopefully this is my other back piece. And so that's, the flowers are going okay. I'm happy with that. Now let's just check. These should fit pretty good too, because I was watching which way I was cutting, right? Excuse me. They're going up. I'm happy with that. So there is my basic layout. So now you can start putting glue on your pieces. Now I'm going to have to cut a smidge off of each one of these because I definitely didn't measure these. Excuse me. I'll get a sip of water so I can quit coughing on you. Like I said, we marked the other piece so we know which is top. I have to check if this one needs as much cutting. Yeah, it needs a sliver. They all need a sliver because I hand did them. Now, what I didn't do, like I said, we'll worry about the other side in a second. I'm just getting a sip of water. Hopefully that helps. So now you can cut layers together, at least on this section. Now I thought about it, and this is where you wouldn't even have to do the inside, but you can take a look. I kind of liked it because, yeah, see, I got a smidge. I'm not happy. I have to go like this. When I go to glue and it's not quite right, straighten it out and fix it. There we go. Once you learn how to cut patterns, you will get better at it. And then you will be able to cut the pieces and then fold them in half instead of kind of roughing it the way I did. But there's always a way to fix them. But like I said, I definitely like, this print was so pretty, but it needed help with the green. So this one, we're putting the bonus section on it. Some of these, this is one of them. You probably looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can make that. And it really isn't as hard. Once you're making squares, which if you measure and cut, they should fit. And this is where you can just change up your layers, whatever suits you, according to your papers. I just am really down to the nitty-gritty with this bees and butterfly collection. But the colors were so pretty. There, now I can come back quickly and I can glue them to the base. I'm anxious to see those that make theirs, because doing panels like this and different prints and colors will just make it so pretty. Now, they called this a teepee, and it actually looks like a teepee. But once I made the Christmas one, all I saw was a Christmas tree. And I decorated it like a Christmas tree. So that's why I thought I'm going to make another one that looks like a Christmas tree also as soon as I'm done this one. Because I found a Christmas tree image to put right on the front to make it really look like a Christmas tree. I just thought it was fun to know that we actually could make a bunch of Christmas trees like that and decorate them all for Christmas. And also, think about it, because you're not putting them in an envelope to send them to somebody, we could make them bigger and bigger and bigger and do a really cute clustering of Christmas trees for on your table or your end table or on a shelf somewhere. My mind gets going, and especially when I wake up at 2 and 3 in the middle of the night, and I think I could make those different sizes and I would have a whole cluster of Christmas trees in all different colors and decorated. And I thought, yep, I have to try it again. So I will be trying different sizes, because all we have to do is have bigger squares. Make your squares bigger and just alter them 1/4 inch for each layer that you're going to be working with. Now, if you see this one, this is that little piece here. And this is where I didn't know if I tried to get them going the same way. So I should fold them so that the lines are going the same way. When you have lines, kind of take a look which way the folds are going before you cut them. That's why I did not fold and finish all mine, because I wanted to make sure they're both going the proper way. And this is where you take the ones for this side, and then the other two, you know, see they're going the same, and these other two will go inside when we use them, and they would be going the other way. So that makes it so easy, is just don't fold these guys. You actually could hold off on folding any of them if you're really trying to match up prints going a certain way. So just take your time and don't rush. You can make your changes as you go along. As you go to put something down, you think, well, I want to turn that the other way. So just cutting these pieces and organizing that really is a great way to start. So now this is where you then fold it around, fold the front around. Yeah, see, if you didn't cover all this, like I might cover it again with a really cute front image and stuff again. But if you don't, that there butterfly is perfect. I love it. That flower looks good and that looks good. I'm happy. I like what I see. Now I'm going to open it, and I have Velcro dots. Get my dots, and this is where I just go as close as I can get here. Now I found, whoops, yeah, see there's paper on that one. It wasn't going to stick by itself for sure. And I've been adding a little more of my own glue because it really pulls. When you're snapping these open and closed, you really have to. Well, see, now this is where, see, I shouldn't be doing it yet either if you want to decorate it. So I'm going to take it off quick. See, I'm getting ahead of myself. I do the same thing. Now this is where, do you like the looks of that? This is where, do you want to write the verse in there? Do you want to decorate all of it? Do you just want some of it or none of it? I mean, this is where you can decide. And this is where I might just go cardstock in here. And my two pieces down here. Whoops. Yeah, see, those two don't match. They're not going the same way. I might have to cut and figure that one out. I got them good over there. Okay, I'll figure them out. But for now, I'm going to stick these in. And if I can cut out more pieces to fit, I will. And if I can't, I have nice cardstock. And the verses, if you're putting them in or handwriting, you will be able to do that. And this is where this could be the print right away that you had. But I went with the extra, don't forget that. So if you've got that print that you had ready, you can put your print in there. Whoop. Do any of you have extra to play with and you want to make a second one? If you want to make a second one, I'll stay on and I'll make a Christmas tree. And this is where I'm grabbing. Just give me a minute. This is where, okay, so if I go up and down, so now this is where if I turn, okay, this one has to go this way, and I want it to go up and down, the same as that one. So I'm just going to come over here, and I'm going to cut. That's where, turn the piece that was wrong and turn it the way you have to have it going. And then it works. So sometimes with prints, you just have to take your time and cut them, fix them. And like I said, I actually pulled some cute things to do. Another front. It's either that or I might just at least add, I found a cute butterfly in my accents. So if I can get the pieces to fit, I will redo that. And see, now that I have those, I'm not going to put my I'm not going to put the Velcro dots on until I check. I just don't want to slow you down, just taking lots of time to figure out pieces again right this minute. And what I'd like to do is, I kind of really like that butterfly. And the only other thing I did find, a baby, and I mean a tiny butterfly, and see if I can put a real one on there. That would be cute. Yeah, no, I'm going to do that. And the other thing that's kind of cool, I have lots of beads, and I have lots of other things. I might be able to just put a bead runner, or not, or I buy trims that I can cut apart. And I also, with this paper, it had some, I don't want thanks mom. This is the one that had the best wishes is kind of cool. I'm not loving all the color, and special day I could work with. Just for You is in the gold, and I could do Friend, Happy Anniversary could go up and down on the panel for a change. That would be kind of cool. And this is where you just cut them to fit. So make yourself a sentiment. Now this one, I don't like heavy square corners on these sentiments, so I'm just going around the corner, and they're so tiny. That is awful thick. I'm going to fussy cut around. All I see is too much paper. So I just custom fit. Make it work. A couple up and downs. it just leaves some of the print showing instead of so much paper. This is where if I cut it and I don't like it, I just don't use it. Oh, it's a little crooked. My eye, as soon as I turned it sideways, I could see. You're better to cut a little bit at a time as to cut too much the first time. That's when I do slices, just little slices. Let's see if I come down there. I want the butterfly showing, so I can go right to the bottom, and that's okay. And I'm going to take a look at big gob of glue on the back of this one. I have to see if it's, I might have to tip the wings, get the glue on the wings. I never know till I get there, because it was cute. And yes, when it's something bulky, you're not going to want to throw it in the mail, but we can hand deliver. I'm going to have to put this on, and I'm going to have to use my paper clips, of course. You know me and my paper clips. It's going to have to go over the wing there and over the wing on this side. Now the other thing I could have tried was putting a little bit of foam. If this doesn't hold well, I'll put a little bit of foam back behind to pop up through the center. But for now, I'm going to leave it open. I'm not going to be able to close it the way I want right now. Now, if you that are playing along with me today, do you just want to stick around? You want to say yes, no? And if you do, then I will start the next one, and it'll go together faster because it's only the 2 layers, not the 3. And I'm going to take a piece of double-sided, and I'm going to cut the 4-inch, 3 of them. Yeah, maybe that's where. And this is where the bases are the ones. You have time to hang out? That's good. You'd like to see Christmas, Amy? Well, I tell you, I am. I'm starting with green. And I am going to have to take care of my fuzzies on here. Just wait till I make a big one and come back, and then a smaller one. Go one size up from this and one size smaller. I think that would make an absolutely fabulous cluster of trees. And get out your gemstones and make them look like little decorations. I know I'm cutting all this fuzzy away again. No, I said, Alicia, if you're still around, I bought a new board. I don't think they're making the cutters as good as they used to because they are going so dull so quick. And I refuse. Okay. So this is my main base. This is where, oops. We can put our base together again like we're supposed to. And this is where it said make the angles. And it said to put the valleys up. So there's my valleys in the background. And this, whoop, I'm shaking the camera. This is where I keep putting my tape. Put your tape on to hold it. Oh, good. Susan's good to hang out. It's awesome. Okay, and see that's where this one's going to go. And this is where if I tip it over and put do not glue, come back in and add glue. Now I'm going to have to grab my marker too before I glue this one down. This is where don't let yourself get ahead of yourself because then you want to get rid of those lines and you won't be able to. I definitely have to put it on this one. That's why I end up with gluey fingers, because I just go for it. There we go. And I got one little fuzzy going. Stick it under. Okay, and while I've got it, I'm gonna do the edges on the others that are showing. That's better. It's not 100%, but it's better than the white showing, especially when it's so dark. So then we have our base. Now, this is where I pulled somewhere. I had the same paper, and then I'm going to show you another alternative. This is the same paper that I had used. And this is where, if you only have so much of it, see, I used a different one inside. I had little pieces, but I had to change it up because this here paper is from Vicky Bouton's Ribbons. And it is probably the 6x8, yes. So I had two pieces, and I didn't want to cut the second because I knew I wanted a second tree to do with you. Better to get the tint. Maybe I'm not buying the goodies. Anyway, and then I found this one. And I thought this might be a tree with the already decorations on it. So I'd like a poll. Anybody still watching? Should I make another tree and add all the stones? Or should I make a tree with all these fun, cute decorations of different colors? Which one do you like? Has anybody got an opinion to share? Now take your tape off. There we go. The colorful one, Amy. Yes, that sounds like Amy. She would pick the colorful one. Okay, I will go for it, Amy. We're doing it. So the smaller one is the 3 3/4. Yeah, see, there was just enough for 2. So from this paper pad, I'm getting 2, and I have to change my inside. But that's fine. Once you're inside, it doesn't matter. And this is where these get cut in parts to fill. And this is where, as a Christmas tree, the ornaments, oh no. How about the colors? Okay. I might be able to put stones in these the same, which would turn out really cute. Just because they have colors doesn't mean I can't add glitter. This is where you could get out your Nouveau, or your stickles, or your stones. And there we go. So this is where I only went with the cardstock base and the colors. And then down here on this one, yeah, see, I cut the pieces out of the same paper so that these here came down with the same. So this is where I took my small piece, which is 1 1/2. Yeah, glossy accent. There's so many options to decorate. So it just depends what you have in your stash or what you purchase. So for that one, it looked crooked. There we go. So like I said, on this one, I'm doing less. You see, that'll decorate the whole thing up like a tree. And it'll look cool. And then wait till I show you what I have to go in front. I couldn't believe it when it fit almost perfect. But the last one, I went with the reindeer, and I saved the tree to share with you. And I'm going to check my box of goodies because I think it's the matching accents that go with the paper. And it was perfect. And I don't know about you, but these definitely, once you know the sizes and the combo, how to get your base ready, and then how to just cut these other squares different sizes and cut them in half and decorate, I would think it's not quite as challenging as maybe you thought. When you get to where making the first one and doing another one right away often is perfect, because now you get the gist of what pieces go where and how quickly it is then to pick papers that will coordinate. And remember, if we call this the Teepee, it also will make gorgeous, fabulous birthday, anniversary, thinking of you, all kinds of different themes. You would not have to just be thinking trees like I am right this minute. We can get totally, that's why I like doing this other one, because that is not Christmas. And it is so pretty. So whether it's 2-color, 3-color, and different inside and out, you just have so many options. And like I said, I have to change up the inside. Right. See, now I wouldn't cut into this one or this one. I would use only one and change the inside so that I can make 2 more trees. And this is where I'm wondering how big I can go. Or I might have to make the smaller one out of this and then get Christmas paper that will do the bigger one. And see, this is where it'll go this way. Isn't that cute? It looks adorable. It looks like a tree already. But now, are you ready? I'm going to surprise you. Just give me 2 secs, though. I want to find... I hope I have... I do not have the piece to share with you. It definitely came in the collection and was in this fabulous mix of accents for Christmas. And there's so many cool ones here. There's even more. So with that, are you ready? This. Look at that. It fits. It fits absolutely perfect. I love it. Goes down. I would just go down into the edge there and get the star up to the point. And I have a beautiful tree on the front of the tree, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Just give me a sec. Yeah, see, thanks, Alicia. I can't see the names of everybody on my laptop. I'd have to stand up and be checking my iPad. When you join in, I always say, come in and comment and say hi. We like to see who's here and who's playing along. It makes it more fun. Now I'm going to hold this again, and the bottom corner didn't need glue, so I just have to make sure I do not stick it. There we go. So I'm going to open it. So now that it's done there, I like using a paper towel. If you put glue on something and you need to daub it so it doesn't stick, I just kind of do that. There we go. And I'll decide on the inside. But this is where I then can that is so cute. And see, this is the other one that matched from that collection. And I added the gemstones. And this is where I can add gemstones to it and just add more color. That is so cute. That paper collection for Christmas, it looks awesome. I'm happy, happy. They are so cute. I like it, I like it. Hi, Lynn. Well, you can rewatch the video after it ends. And they are, remember people, the videos are good for 30 days. And then I will be moving them as they are leaving here into the YouTube for you. So don't worry, but like I said, it's live for 30 days and you can come back and stop it and catch up and print the instructions. And I'm so glad it's working out, and I'm so glad that there's more people. And anybody that is making this card today, I would love if you come back and share. And I will come back after I custom fit all the pieces that were missing. This is where, like I said, I definitely have to think about, well, unless you're okay to stay for a few minutes, I will grab it. And this is where I can show you. I only have, I'm getting down to the nitty gritty, and I might not have enough of this one at all anymore. It might not work. This is where I might have to fussy cut. Maybe that one that way and that one the other way. Yeah, no, this is where unless I can get this one on this corner. Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to show you. I'm going to grab a piece of white, and this is the second layer, so it's for 3 3/4. Yeah, this is my third layer, so it's 3 1/2. So I am going to cut the 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and I'm going to fold it and cut it. And these are now templates. If you need to keep templates, my suggestion is to write template on them and stick them in a baggie and staple them to the instruction sheet. Okay, so this is where this one has to go this way, and see, I think of this one. Okay, I'm switching. So I can tell that if I go this way, I might be able to get this, that the flowers don't look too bad. And these are the little things that make it easier if you cut a template. See, that's pretty. That one's going all right. Now let's check this other one. It has to go this way. So this is where I think I can get part of the butterflies, and I think they'll be okay. There's the big one. This is where, hold it on your paper so you can see behind. Make it custom fit. Get that off of there. So this is my easy, anybody that's done anything knows I do not like measuring more than I have to. So when I can cut what I call a template like this and keep it for the next time I make something in case I have to custom fit. See, those butterflies are fine, and the flowers over there are fine. So that worked out great. But like I said, going with the templates so you can line them up onto a scrap of paper, which is running a little short, to check your patterns. I don't know what kind of patterns you picked to play with today, but it definitely, there are some that are easier than others. Okay, that's still holding. Let me see if I get this off. Got a few things that are in the way there. I still might have to put foam under that butterfly. I think it's floating just a little bit too much. And I am loving this fine-tuned Barely glue, precision art glue, because of the tip. It allows you to put small amounts and get it to the edge without making a huge mess. See, now I have to custom fit here. I have a little mess going, so I'm just going to hold it here. I'm going to line up the top and the side, and I'm going to come back and custom cut. There we go. It's a little off at the top. This is where just do a smidge at a time. If you have to come back one more time, it's just a little crooked right there. Much better. So with a little bit of extra time and effort, you can custom do this. Oh, Suzanne, yes, just go. Look forward to you sharing when you're done. Thanks for joining. So so I have the inside, outside, and this is where I didn't put the sentiment on yet, but I can grab, I might have to go into my, I was going to say I might have to get into my drawer to get some more fabulous, fun velcro dots. Okay, in the corner. And you have to be patient and let them grab on and dry. I'm not going to open it now. I'm going to leave it. And sometimes I forget, so if you put a paper clip on it, you have a friendly little reminder that you're waiting for it to glue. The inside's done now, and I like that. And somewhere on my table, oh, I got too many things going all over. I'll have to find the sentiment that I cut. It's just disappeared at this point. So I have all these cuties. Let me make room. Bring them in here. There we go. So we have Christmas trees. And like I said, don't forget, template. And this is for Teepee. And make sure it goes with my instruction sheet. This is why I've said, just check it with your sheet. And I will play some more and try a big one and a small one and do more decorating and sharing. But in the meantime, thanks again. Appreciate your support and all the people that are playing and those that share. We absolutely like to be able to see your projects also. So come back and share. Take care. Have a great day. And see you again soon. Thursday, 3 o'clock. More surprises. Bye.